been a while since we had any sort of drama on the channel, honestly. I haven't done anything probably since the beginning of the iDubbbz downfall, beginning of 2025. So it's been a little bit since I've dipped my toes into the commentary sphere, but today's the day. I've watched a lot of Turkey Tom, a lot of Tom Dark in my day, so seeing all this stuff drop recently in the last 24 hours has been interesting to say the least. And honestly, it was enough to inspire me to get off my ass and make a drama stream yet again. So for anyone who doesn't know, Turkey Tom is a commentary YouTuber. He usually makes lolcow dedicated documentaries, I guess. He makes lolcow documentaries. He recently did Clavicular. He's done Joshua Block, Daniel Larson. He's done all the likes. He's done the legends. He also did a stint in late 2024 to 2025 where he was doing more live content, more lighter scripted content, doing live streams and smaller dramas. He since stopped doing that in right around February of 2025. It's been about a year since he's done that sort of content, and he's been more focusing on his main channel for the last year. And with this, it seems that we are entering into a new era. This is going to be honestly, I'm not sure what this truly is. I'm mostly expecting, after the light amount of research I did looking into this before it started, I frankly didn't see much that there was to look into on this. I thought it was just going to be more of a fun thing to go over and you know, see what there is to see. And then probably later in the night we'll hop over to Minecraft or something else. Maybe I'll just get off. Who knows? Maybe this will go long enough that we'll get a full stream out of this. But without a further ado, my best source that I've been able to find so far, at least, is and it's a little bit of a hot take, a little bit of a controversial pick. Honestly, I don't watch much Chud Logic, but it seems he has a full multi-hour VOD of the allegations. So I think I'm going to be skipping around in here, looking over things, and really digging down into the nitty-gritty, seeing what there is to actually say about this topic, because it kind of looks like a nothing burger, but honestly, it's mad juicy. It's mad juicy, so I got to get my swag on. But without a further ado, I think what we're gonna do. But I guess we're just gonna go ahead and watch it through this and hope it's good.
And some of it is drawn from Kiwi Farms, which to me, I mean, some of these posts, the originating source is Kiwi Farms. I know some people get a bit uncomfortable, but of course, as we know,
Kiwi Farms is undoubtedly known for being a largely trolled platform. It was originally the Quickie Farms, which was a Chris Chan dedicated hate board, not hate board, but trolling board, that eventually evolved into a more broad lolcow forum. It's been known for having problems such as not disavowing doxing, things like that. It's a very controversial website. It's known for being a bit of a wild, wild west. It's a new 4chan proxy, if you will, for lolcows. So a lot of people will take a lot of issues with Kiwi Farms and its validity in a lot of situations. Like we talked about earlier, Tom does use Kiwi Farms for a lot of his coverage, so there is an extent of this that it's sort of his own willingness to accept this site as valid does hurt him in this situation. It's something that is almost biting him in the butt in this. So it's kind of interesting to see him get his own thread. I tried to look up the thread. I'm a little too employed to know how to use that site very well, so I'm not super good at navigating Kiwi Farms. So I didn't want to bother scrolling around and tabbing in and out and possibly pulling up some stuff that I shouldn't on stream. So we're just going ahead and watching it right here. Chud Logic, another person who is pretty, you know, somebody that not many people are going to be very kindly viewing in this day and age, or ever, honestly. But, you know, we do what we can do.
Turkey Tom himself often used Kiwi Farms as a source. So yeah, I mean it's not so yeah, I mean so fucked, bro. Leaked about
I
you.
really don't care about Chud's commentary on this at all. I'm mostly looking for the information that's on here. So I think I'm just gonna skip around. I'm gonna read off this information on the screen and skim and clicking wherever I see new information start popping up. So we've got Sacramento 89 is one of Tom's exes. Left for Dead is another one of Tom's exes. Jet, referring to Jet Neptune, Sam Hyde's buddy. He's a founder of Fish Tank, a show that I've covered here on the channel before, so that's pretty fun. Jet is definitely a controversial character in and of himself, and the fact that they have been known friends for some time is definitely something to note in this situation. Meowdlin, streamer who wears dog ears, somebody that Tom had actually covered on one of his ancillary channels, Tom IRL. It's saying supposedly another sexual partner of Tom's, which is probably pretty valid. Honestly, I don't really know. But you know, it's something of note, something to see. Creepy Hoarder / Shiroza, adult who posts on social media attract the attention of freaks. Okay, fair enough. So I'm just gonna head on down to this first post here. Hi, Kiwi people. I dated Tom for a few months after meeting him on Tinder. I'm not super into internet stuff and had no idea what Kiwi Farms was, but this page was always his #1 search Safari thing that pops up on iPhone when he went to Google something. When I asked about this website, he got super defensive and weird about it, so I obviously looked into it and found all this crazy shit, like him admitting to being bisexual. First of all, I don't think this person genuinely didn't know about Kiwi Farms. If they're authentically looking through and finding all this stuff, they see it on his searched on his phone, and stuff like that. I don't believe a lot of this story. I think this is a little bit more manufactured than they're wanting to make it out to be. I think this person is much more malicious than and less oblivious than they're trying to make it out to look like, because I don't think many people would put together this sort of information to build this hate thread, this blackmail hate thread. I'm just not buying that premise for this post. So already this is a little bit sketch, I believe. Messaged the owner of this website, Joshua Moon, to get the code to post here. Basically, I started to get suspicious. Also, if you know Joshua Moon, if you know Null, you're not a normie, and I guess Tom could have told you some stuff about it, but you're not authentically on your own finding out about Null if you don't know about Kiwi Farms already. Like, if you're freshly learning about Kiwi Farms, you're not. There's no way you're messaging Null, Joshua Moon, out of nowhere. It's just not believable. This is somebody who I think was orchestrating this for quite a while and is angry. And that's not to say that some of this stuff in here is not to be believed. I just don't think that it is. I think that the premise of the initial storyline of this already has some holes in it. So it doesn't bode well for the believability of the rest of this story. It makes me want to believe that this person's lying about how they got introduced to Kiwi Farms and therefore is hiding something throughout this story. Basically, I started to get suspicious about all the e-girls he's followed / interacted with, and he started raging at me. He also lied to me at first about the fact he does YouTube. He did some crazy shit like kicked holes in a wall at a house he was renting because some e-girl who copies Belle Delphine got hacked, and the hacker was blackmailing him with his dick pics. First of all, I mean, I'm gonna be real. If my dick pics were if I was getting blackmailed with dick pics, I am kicking holes in walls and raging, dude. Like, if I was someone who was sending dick pics, first of all, and an ex or somebody I'd fucked around with was doing this kind of shit, I am kicking holes in walls. That's enraging. That's something that would enrage you. It's not like he was raging at Sacramento here, it really does authentically seem like he was having a justifiable rage about getting blackmailed. And I don't see the relevance in this. I think she's just trying to build him up as some sort of abusive character, but this is I honestly don't see too much problem with raging about something that serious. He continued to talk with her after the fact. I have screenshots confirming all of this, attached a couple, but I think I have more. Okay, we'll see if that's true later. We'll look over that. This guy's a real freak and likes to record sexual encounters without asking first during almost every time. I know for a fact he's done this to at least one other girl, serial Gooner, and has flown out several e-girls to sleep with. He told me he has a file on his computer called Just In Case, that's basically voice memos or calls from his exes to blackmail them with, in case they ever say anything about him. Thought I would get the message out and confirm y'all's suspicions. Also, if this gets out, to warn other young women in the Texas area about this dude. The Just In Case folder, I mean that's not like a super cool thing. I think when you do have an audience like this, when you're a bit of a public figure like this, you really do want to have a lot of preventative measures against like things being used against you. I don't know if keeping blackmail is exactly the right, the right way to go about it, but he was always a paranoid guy. I mean, I remember watching his old streams and he was super paranoid and super like concerned with making sure that he keeps himself safe from situations exactly like this. So, I think this is a very predictable behavior. I mean, he's a Destiny fan. He was a Destiny orbiter, right? I wasn't really fan of him during his Destiny era, but I know he. Well, I guess I was. I just didn't watch the Destiny stream where he was on for election night. But he was a Destiny orbiter, and we all know how Destiny is. Destiny's a serial gooner, just a top 1,000 gooner. So being very neurotic and very suspicious of people, just like Destiny, is pretty on point, pretty in the cards for someone like this. I don't. It's definitely not cool to keep a file for Just In Case full of just blackmail on the off chance that somebody tries to blackmail you. I don't think that's exactly a good thing that you should be doing or touting or really telling anyone about. But it's all right, cat. Sorry about this. Your booch, go on. Thank you. Sorry about that. But keeping the blackmail folder. It's pretty crazy. And recording sexual encounters, it's not cool they didn't ask, but that's a pretty common thing. I mean, you're always seeing like random sex tapes pop up on Twitter. You're always seeing random shit like that. So I don't know how like freakish it is that he likes to record that stuff. I mean, even if it's true, that's a bit. I mean, I don't know. I would never do that. That's me personally. That's something I would never do. But it's just I've heard of it a lot. And if it's true that he doesn't get consent, that is pretty bad. That is just. Is that illegal? I think that might be illegal. So that is something that can genuinely be criticized in this. But I think as we look through this more, we're gonna notice a lot more of these bigger things are gonna fade away, and the smaller things that aren't actually that bad are gonna be the focal point. And I think that's gonna say a lot about this person's true intentions behind this post. So let's just skip straight ahead. So in here we've got some texts between the Sacramento person and Tom. Everything good. IDK I'll explain later. Has nothing to do with you. That's from Tom. Oh shit. Scale of 1 to 10. How bad? Very. Oh, I'm sorry. An ex of mine got hacked basically, and some stuff is probably going to be dropped online. Photos. They emailed my family. So these are posts from Tom. He got blackmailed by an account that had nudes of him. Some stuff is going to get dropped. Oh, bro, it's okay. Is it okay? I have no idea. This has never happened to me. I mean, honestly, freaking out when you've got nudes online, getting threatened when you're getting blackmailed online is pretty reasonable. This is going back to the part where the person was saying that he was kicking holes in walls and getting like really angry. It just it's pretty reasonable to be extremely frustrated in a situation where you're being put against a wall by random malicious people online or making threats and emailing your family and generally just trying to ruin you in a certain way or get something out of you. I think being rightfully upset is not anything that is that bad. It's not to be shamed for sure. I don't see the point of this. I mean, okay, I just prefer you just or this isn't even relating to that. Is she the one who looks like Belle Delphine? Oh, I guess that's talking about the person who got hacked. The one that looks like Belle Delphine? Yeah, lol. That's the one. Yeah. Do you think my type is Belle Delphine? LMAO? No, like emo hoes of that nature. Just like talking about his type, I guess. It doesn't even. There's nothing really incriminating here. I prefer you dress normal and I want to be with them anymore. It's better this way. Honestly, so he talks a lot. He's a bit of a hypocrite in this for sure. When I was watching his streams, he would talk all the time about don't get with the BPD girls, don't get with the crazy girls, don't do anything stupid like that. And he definitely does not follow his own advice. He's a bit of a man who leads others to greatness that he can never possess because it seems he's in just about the worst possible case scenario with a BPD girl. And you should never, ever get yourself involved with a girl with beautiful princess disorder. It's just not worth it. It's not funny after a while. It just ends up with you getting screamed at or hurt or something of the likes because it just does not work out. These mentally ill girls who are online and they're dressed in all the pink and they look like they're so friendly and cute. They really aren't. They're going to destroy you, and he says that a lot. That's why he's the head of Never Goon. That's why he spearheads, being a rational, level-headed thinker, thinking with your head, not your other head. It seems he just didn't take his own advice at all. Here he says, this shit does kind of make me want to Ann Hero a little bit, but it's fine. I must count my blessings. What does that mean? Blank myself, blow my shit smooth off. Dude, yet again, completely reasonable take, completely based thought process. If you're getting blackmailed, I also would be sitting here going, it's time to neck. It's time to hang up the old body. It's time to be hanging from the ceiling fan. It's a situation that you're kind of it feels life or death. Because that kind of shit is insane. So I don't see this as being anything more than just screenshots of how any person will react to the situation. So this is somebody responded to the initial post. I am skeptical though. Him being a literal mini Destiny is a bit on the nose. And the Sacramento person responded, I promise all of this is real. I can post more screenshots, but I'm a little scared of him coming after me because I'm a normal person and his just in case file. So she's basically saying, I can't give you more proof. He's going to blackmail me. And I honestly, I don't see how that, I just can't see how that works because she's already revealed the existence of the just in case file. So him using it in any scenario really doesn't make him look better. And I think he's smart enough to realize that. So any situation where he thinks that he can use the just in case folder is actually only going to make him look worse here. If that exists and if he's dumb enough to use it, it only turns out bad for him. There's no way where you're getting accused of stuff like this and you respond with the nuclear option. The nuclear option is only for if you're not planning on getting out of there alive. Realistically, you're never gonna win going nuclear. So I think if she does this half-ass dump where people aren't gonna believe her and people aren't really gonna think that she's doing anything or that she's believable, I think she should put everything out there and let the public decide with all the information instead of little sprinkles, little bits, little ifs, buts, wins. It's kind of just giving off the impression that she really doesn't have much to go off of, and she's grasping at straws here. Because if you have everything you need, you would drop it, right? There's no situation where you have everything you need and then you sprinkle out little clues just to things that are believable enough. Like these screenshots already do not do anything for me up here. They don't prove anything to me other than the fact that he was horny. And I mean, he's my age. He's 23, and this was taken what, when he was 22, or even if he was 23. A 23-year-old dude is gonna be horny as fuck. He's gonna make horny mistakes, especially with a platform like his. It really doesn't make sense for him to not have a. She should be putting everything out there. He didn't do. He's horny, and that sucks. But it happens, man. It happens. Um. So I think this is the second page. I'm not alleging anything illegal or saying it was revenge porn or anything. What I meant was he wouldn't ask before and to proceed to take out his phone mid-sexual activity to film. Now that does suck. You probably shouldn't be taking out your phone and recording somebody while you're having sex. And I think people have gotten canceled for that much. I think that's a pretty Destiny thing. That's something that you shouldn't be doing. And that is condemnable. Honestly, that is condemnable. That's the worst thing so far that is probably reasonably provable. And I don't expect any sort of video to come out of this or her to release anything for that to be a believable statement. I do think that she can be taken at base value that this is probably something that he was doing. And I guess it would just take either a response from him or her admitting that it was fake for that to really be disproven. But that is just about it too. So everything else so far, it does not amount to much. Sometimes wouldn't notice till like 15 to 30 seconds after you started filming. I have no idea if this is illegal or not, but yeah, he wouldn't ask before. Reached out to an ex-GF of his, he would do the same thing to her. The blackmail he has on his computer is phone calls and texts, I believe. Most of them are from his ex-girlfriend named Kai. Here's a picture from when we matched on Tinder. Don't have the message from when we matched anymore. So if his blackmail folder is real, it's stuff from his ex-girlfriend Kai. I think that was I don't even know if that was a controversy. It was more of a thing that I saw a while back where Tom, his ex-girlfriend, had cheated on him with another guy, and he had a little bit of a BPD moment. He had a bit of a beautiful princess disorder moment, and like carved her name into his chest. Supposedly that's the story. There's been no photos. There's been no like corroborating evidence. That's the word on the street on the matter. Something that I thought was kind of weird was that she was taking screenshots of the moment that they matched on Tinder. Because supposedly when they first got together, she didn't know who he was, and like she got it out of him later that he was a YouTuber. So I don't understand why you're taking a screenshot of the match. I mean, especially on Tinder, especially with like being a woman on Tinder, you have 1,000 matches. You can have literally any match you want. It's really not hard or rare to be getting a match. So I don't think it's very realistic that she would have a screenshot of them matching if she didn't know who he was beforehand, or if she wasn't at least somewhat tangentially aware of who he was beforehand. Things like that. They just kind of doesn't happen on dating apps where the random match you get that you do end up talking to, you take screenshots of during that early stage, because there is a bit of there's a grace period between match and knowing whether or not this person is someone you're going to be around for a while, especially on dating apps like Tinder, Hinge, Bumble. It's very rare. It's a lot fewer and far between that your match leads to any sort of long-lasting relationship or relationship that would get to the point where this sort of thing would happen, where there's like drama and trauma going on. So it is strange that she has this screenshot of the original match. It kind of seems like she was gathering evidence from day one almost, and it makes it weird to me. I don't know. Um, and she doesn't have the messages. She doesn't have screenshots of the messages just from the initial match, which is another thing. It's like, okay, if you were documenting that, but you're not documenting everything else, it seems inconsistent what you're choosing to talk about, what you're choosing to release. Maybe she does have screenshots, maybe she doesn't. But the point is, why are you screenshotting the match and not like the first couple messages or things like that? It just seems inconsistent in the storytelling. We go down here a little bit. What is your main reason for posting to this thread? Why did you and Tom break up? Also, post more screenshots. The main reason I'm posting to this thread is to kind of warn people, mostly women, about this guy. The reason we broke up is actually because I mentioned this website to him, and that I saw some crazy stuff about him online. His history with e-girls bothered me. Pick is about the Belle Delphine type girl who was hacked. I'm suspicious of cheating because he did not block her after the fact, and apparently she was still talking to him. Okay, so let's break this down a little bit. Reason you're posting the thread is to warn people, mostly women, about him. And I mean, if you do think he is a scummy guy, that's valid to post about him and I guess get the word out there. I don't think Kiwi Farms is really the place where you go if you really legitimately are thinking like that. Kiwi Farms is where you're gonna go if you think you have like damning evidence, or if you're trying to really like burn someone. This seems more like a revenge thing than like warning fellow women, if you know what I mean. It just doesn't seem consistent. That this story is not consistent with the actions of posting it to the Kiwi Farms, posting this mega thread, answering questions, doing like a Q&A with these people on Kiwi Farms about the guy. It seems a little bit weird. I don't know. It's not something that I would see as normal for this sort of situation. The reason we broke up is because you mentioned Kiwi Farms to him, and obviously that's probably a sensitive subject. I mean, nobody who's on Kiwi Farms is happy about it. That's for fucking sure. Nobody who has a thread is going to be happy that they have a thread. It is a harassment website. It is a website where people get doxxed, people get their families doxxed, and terrible things do come out of this website. Even though it is honestly, it's a cool website. I don't think it should be taken down either. It is just a scary website. It's a website where you should be very careful. I also don't think, I don't know, if you're saying that, okay, I saw crazy stuff about him online, talking about the Kiwi Farms, I don't think you would post this thread to the Kiwi Farms, right? Because if you're concerned about the threads on there, unless you are just doing this for a malicious reason, I don't think you would contribute to these analogs of his like worst moments. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make me believe that this is a super altruistic helping out the girls thing that you're doing. His history with e-girls bothers you. I mean, that can make sense for the breakup, the online stuff, and the e-girls. That's totally valid. I think she can definitely have problems with how he is portrayed online, and it is definitely a weird thing for a normie partner to be dealing with, someone who wants to be online, somebody who has an audience online, somebody who has more of a public figure. That definitely is believable that she would have issues with some of the things that are online about him and his interactions online. And thinking that he cheated, that it leads more into my theory that this is a malicious thing after the breakup, that she's angry. I don't know. This seems like an overboard, explosive thing to do after a breakup. If it's just over like he's kind of rough, kind of kind of dickish and he might have cheated. Um, it just seems like a nothing burger that's getting blown out of proportion because Kiwi Farms people have been waiting to get something on Turkey Tom. It seems like she knows more than she is leading on, and it's it's growing more apparent that she knows more than she's letting on. She knew about Kiwi Farms, I think. She knew about Tom, and she thought that she could, tame the beast, or that things like this wouldn't happen. But obviously, the breakup happens, and she gets mad, so she comes on here and wants to air out every ounce of dirty laundry that she has on him. Because when you're in a relationship, you do gain dirty laundry. You learn about a person. You get vulnerable with a person, and when it's a BPD girl like this, you're gonna end up creating an enemy at the end, which really does suck. It kind of seems like he was in a relationship that he shouldn't have been in, and it ended up getting him in trouble now. I mean, in trouble isn't even the word, because I haven't seen a single reasonable person, other than like stupid comments that we're gonna look at here in a little bit, but no reasonable people are really taking this super seriously. But let's go ahead and read a little bit further down. Okay. So, another commenter said, "Very interesting. Did he happen to say anything notable to you after you did that? Anything about the reputation of the forum? Were you specifically the one to break things off, or was it Tom? Also, were you aware of Tom's internet presence before you started dating him, or did you find that out later?" Sacramento 89 responded, "Like I said, he lied to me about who he was, but I figured it out pretty quickly, like on our first date, lol. He said it was weird for a girl he's dating to look at a gossip website. Told me before I should never look him up online, lol. The breakup was kind of mutual, but also I sort of crashed out on him about his past with the e-girls / the dick pic thing. So I understand it. He could probably use my mini crash out during and right after our breakup against me, but everything I said was truthful." So, like I said, he lied to me about who he was, but I figured it out pretty quickly, like on our first date. I think she knew who he was before. I think she had researched him before the first date. She may have even known who he was when they first matched, when they first started talking. You don't take that screenshot of the Tinder match and keep it. I don't know. So it just doesn't add up to me. It seems like there's a little bit more narrative plot building that she's putting into this to make it into this, to sort of sculpt this interaction into her being a naive, unknowing participant who became victimized. And it is weird for a girl he's dating to be looking at a gossip website, to be trying to find like dirt on him. I don't know. I mean, it's very reasonable that when you first start dating someone, you want to make sure they're not some sort of freak, but if you find that stuff and you don't have a problem with it, or you can see past it, I don't think there's much to air out there. I don't think she should be like constantly going or using Kiwi Farms or accusing him of things. I don't know. It seems malicious. It seems very off. Breakup was mutual, but I crashed out. I think this is still a crash out. She's making it seem like she had a small crash out where she was like upset during and after the breakup, which is reasonable. You're gonna be upset during and after a breakup. It's not an easy thing. Nobody's happy when they're going through a breakup. But I think this is a continuation of the crash out. This doesn't seem like something a level-headed person who has altruistic motives is going to be doing. I just don't see that as a realistic scenario that this is leading into. This girl, she's posting a mega thread about this guy online on the website that she knows that he's like kind of sensitive about people using against him, and has information about him that he doesn't necessarily want to be out there. So she goes directly to where she knows that he would be most upset that she goes. So it looks a lot more malicious when you start to really think about how these puzzle pieces are fitting together, and how this is much more orchestrated, much more malicious than it's being portrayed. With just a little bit of critical thought, um, he could probably use my mini crash out during and right after our breakup against me, but everything I said was truthful. I don't think he needs to say anything. I think everything you've provided like sort of paints that picture already that you're being very scornful and you're doing this to take it out on him instead of being honestly, truthfully an altruistic, motivated person who's trying to expose this narrative. It doesn't make it. The 1 plus 1 is not equaling 2. It's equaling 3 right now in my mind, and it's very suspicious. It doesn't look credible. I don't know. Another commenter said, "Do you have any evidence he flew out e-girls to sleep with? Did he tell you this, or did you discover this somehow? Was it during your relationship?" He told me this. It was before a relationship, to my knowledge, not during. He was hella careful about texting stuff, but I reached out to one of his exes. I knew he was into the type of e-girl, and she confirmed. She has more evidence than I do. Sent me pictures of her face being bruised after going up to meet with him. Now that is something that's a bit of a crazier accusation that I feel like should have been part of the initial thread. I don't. If he's abusive, that seems much more pertinent to the information than he got blackmailed and was mad about it. You know. But obviously he's a gooner. I think we can very undeniably confirm that if all of this is true, he is a gooner, and that does ruin the no gooning, the stop gooning movement is definitely going to have to be put to a halt with this one. I think we have to strip the anti-gooner title away from Turkius Thomas, and this is a gooner moment. It's a very sad thing to say. The Stop Gooning merch is going to have to come to a direct halt. The hat, it will never be coming back, and the merch will never be the same again. But I think we should just move ahead. There is more stuff about the face bruising that we can go over later, but this is the first mention of it, and it's halfway through. Like, this is the 4th post on this thread from her, and she's just now mentioning a bruise. So let's look a little bit further ahead and see if there's anything a little bit more credible that we can look at to corroborate some of this. So, I'm denying the old allegations because I'm in my early 20s. Are you 37 dating Turkey Tom and you come to warn other women? Denying the old allegations because I'm in my early 20s. I've been in contact with the exes since Tom and I broke up, yes, and she's aware that I'm posting on here and is actively trying to make an account to post on here as well. Gave me permission to post these screenshots. Her IG is Clorox Katie. After leaving his house and flying back home, had big bruise. Twin of victim, I think, yeah, Chud pulls this up a little bit closer. Here we see picture, this woman, it looks like there is a little bit of a bruise on her cheek. I think that's not good. And here's some DMs with Turkey Tom But Dark on Instagram, which, I mean, that is his at. So I would be inclined to believe that this is real. Hope you have a good flight. Tell everyone on plane I said hi. They'll know me. That's so true, and they will clap and cheer when they hear your name. Taking off. I'm so excited. 9 hours. Seems like this person's on the way to meet him. He flew her out, which is being accused earlier in this, that he flew her out to fuck, which is Gooner material. But this is kind of, I don't know, the bruise on the face. I don't see 4 minutes ago. This is a screenshot from March 15th of 2024, which would have, I guess, been when he flew her out. I don't see the correlation just yet, but let's see if there's more to it. So excited photo. I got kicked out of FurryCon. That was security wanted to fight so fast. Holy shit. Nice leggings. Thank you. Jesus Christ. This is pretty cringe, but I mean, these are private DMs, so what do you expect? Yeah, they were insane. Did they already know who you were, or did they just immediately get mad when you said something crazy? They told me I need 7 vaccines to be there. Okay, these are just texts to prove that they had spoken during this time. This is in early 2024 when Tom was making the FurryCon video with Brandon Buckingham. So this does make sense. These are I can reasonably believe that these are legitimate screenshots from their texts. Um, Relating it to this photo, I don't. I'm gonna have to wait to see either proof or anything connecting this screenshot with these other texts. So this is just another Instagram screenshot. Um, but even assuming that this is a somebody that I guess was stricken with incredible swag. Okay, I'm just gonna skip past this part that Chud censored for some reason. I think that's more text, more screenshots from messages, but uh I get I wish I had this doc. That'd be very nice, but we're just gonna move right on ahead. Has he ever dated any of those age play girls? I saw him follow a couple a while ago. The girl he sent dick pics to and got hacked was an age play / Bella Delphine type girl. I sent the screenshots about the blackmailer guy here earlier. He told me he went to meet up with her but was too weirded out and went back home. Her account has been posted in this thread before. I believe it's Creepy Hoarder. See Creepy Hoarder for latest screenshots. Alright, so let's assume we're gonna go see some Creepy Hoarder stuff. No. Okay. Let's talk about this then. I mean, I think it is weird to be into these Bella Delphine age play type girls. It definitely is a genre that was popping at the time. Those screenshots were from early 2024. I think that was the tail end, but especially at the time, that was just something that was a popping trend. The Belle Delphine sort of reshaped the internet for a little bit there. Too Mad collaborated with her. A bunch of different clones of Belle Delphine popped up. I mean, it's undeniable that people in this age group, they do have a background that would cause that fixation. I mean, he said he went up to meet up with her, which I would assume in this situation is a consenting adult that just happens to act like Belle Delphine in that sort of weird way with the braces and the pigtails, which it is weird. I don't think it's very it's pretty creepy. It is pretty creepy, but so long as they're consenting adults, I think it is a bit of okay, he's a gooner. That kind of just does, it's horny posting at that point. Whatever he does with a consenting adult is up to him. It's just weird. Oh, what's up, Thousand Jacksons? You're less late. I'm actually doing YouTube drama today. We're doing some Turkey Tom allegations. We're checking it out, but we're about not very far into this into this big dump. Oh yeah. But since you're just hopping in, Turkey Tom, he's a guy that does YouTube commentary videos. He does a lot of documentaries or lore videos on lolcows, and he is in a little bit of hot water right now because an ex-girlfriend of his has released a mega thread on kiwi farms, attempting to expose him for being weird or abusive. It's really not seeming very it's not very credible right now. None of this is really convincing me. These screenshots are not buying me over, and a lot of this person's story is not adding up right now. So I'm really trying to keep moving forward to see where this person is gonna hook me in and give me that extra context that's gonna convince me that this is these are legitimate complaints and things that aren't just, it seems like an ex-girlfriend being trying to lash out and cause harm to him after they stop, canoodling. So moving forward, we've got somebody replying saying Sacramento 89, which is the accuser. Were you aware of who he was before you started dating, seeing as you screenshot the Tinder match? Like I was talking about earlier, when they first matched on Tinder, this person screenshot the initial match, which kind of seemed out of place, kind of weird to do, especially on Tinder, where matches are kind of just like flippant. You're kind of seeing a lot of matches, especially women on Tinder are seeing a lot of matches, so it doesn't seem very impactful to get a match. So taking a screenshot doesn't really make much sense. Like, what did his bio say about what he was doing for a living? Did he ever physically abuse you? You said he was a gooner. Was he a freak with specific kinks he wanted to live out with you? Did he have any real life friends he hung out with that knew about this behavior? So in response, Sacramento said, um, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. If it isn't adding up, it is most likely is lies or just bad communication. Right now, I'm leaning towards this is a person who is upset about the breakup and is exaggerating a lot of these situations and skewing them in a way where she wants to feel less. She just wants revenge for the breakup, I think. I think this person is dissatisfied with how the relationship went, and at least so far into this, I'm reading that it seems more like a malicious post than anything else. So just gonna go ahead here. Responding to this first comment. Didn't connect the dots about who he was till after. His bio was blank. Might have said videographer. His Tinder profile was mostly just pictures of him flexing, usually with his phone covering his face. I don't want to get into anything illegal, but during sex he was very rough. Would choke and hit me in the face. I don't think anyone he knew IRL knew about this. So firstly, the beginning of this question is about why you took the screenshot of the Tinder match, and that gets completely disregarded. And I think that's a really suspicious thing because it really is what is holding back this whole situation and everything about this story is the fact that she took that screenshot, kept it for so long, second of all, and didn't have any other screenshots to share about their initial conversations. Because either you're documenting everything or you're documenting really nothing. So this isn't making sense, at least to me right now, as to why you have some information and some information is missing. Pictures of him filming or pictures of him flexing and just like general information about his Tinder bio. I mean, that makes sense that she would have that information. She did obviously match with him on Tinder. The question was whether you knew about him before and the information she had about him and whether or not this is someone who had some malice or should have known better when getting into this than to get hurt like this or to be acting this clueless. I think the fact that they're posting on Kiwi Farms is suspicious because what normie is getting onto Kiwi Farms and going down these threads and trying to blackmail a person and exposing a person online. Most normal, everyday normie people are going to be posting like a TikTok about Turkey Tom or a YouTube video about Turkey Tom exposing him, but posting it straight to Kiwi Farms is a whole different level that just does not add up to this story. You don't make a Kiwi Farms account because you got broken up with. You make a Kiwi Farms account because you know what Kiwi Farms is and because you want to like hurt this person more than just warn people about his behavior. Sex was very rough. He would choke and hit me in the face. I don't think anyone knew about this IRL. Is that where the bruise on the other girl came from? So that sucks. Okay. I feel as if drama YouTubers getting exposed are the worst kind, since that kind of makes them hypocrites if it's real. That is true. This guy, I was a fan of him when he was doing his streams. And he was very consistent, very open about how you shouldn't be messing with BPD people that are unstable, women that are gonna be causing you problems. And then it seems like he consistently got himself mixed up with e-girls and online influencers and people that very obviously are people that would cause him problems in the future. So that is a very hypocritical thing of him. It is weird because I think he did know better. I just think he was horny. I think this is pure horny posting right here. And that is yet to really be proven wrong. I don't think anyone would deny that he was horny posting either. And that is that is hypocritical. I just don't think he did anything wrong other than just being horny. Is where there's like not even a problem, just the question of like the necessity of these allegations. Sex, he was very rough. Bruise on the other girl came from. Okay, that's a valid question. Yes, he could hit pretty hard. I mean, if we look back here at this bruise, that is it's a pretty small bruise, and I don't think there's really much point in arguing like, oh, he didn't hit her that hard or anything like that. It just, she says that that is where the bruise came from, so I guess I think that's a pretty reasonable thing to just take at face value. Um, I don't want to get anything illegal, but during sex he was very rough. Sorry to hear that's what happened to you. Sounds like typical porn addicted Gooner behavior though. Does he have a porn addiction? Slash, was he into harder stuff? And if yes, when did you find out about it? Yeah, mostly like this person is saying, this is typical like Gooner behavior. Somebody who's very like addicted to porn and kind of into crazy shit. That this does just happen, and I think this is a more common occurrence than most would be inclined to admit. People nowadays are getting addicted to crazy shit, and they're finding crazy shit online. And somebody who's as terminally online as this, like a full-time YouTuber, is gonna be into some pretty crazy, weird shit, I think. But let's see any response to this. Now that this is true, the fact that he's exhibiting such gooner behavior and based his entire merch line on stop gooning is pretty hypocritical. And I don't think, unless he completely debunks all of this, yeah, being normal has been getting harder and harder nowadays. That is goddamn true. Being normal, being just like vanilla, not even vanilla, but like having an average taste for these sorts of things is pretty it's not uncommon, but it's less common now, which is kind of crazy that people are getting fucking crazy. Um and this guy I do think he fell into the Gooner hole. I think he was flying out e-girls to fuck. He was obviously a Gooner, and he just had he had his special little things that he liked to do. And as much as it's as much as it sucks and it's not cool, these are two consenting adults, and she never says anywhere in here, at least not so far, that she asked him to stop or that she didn't consent to it. She's just saying that he was rough. And that, I mean, that sucks, but unless you have proof or like can explain that you didn't want to be a part of that, or that you were non-consenting, then it also, placing yourself as someone who was not a fan kind of gets rid of the power imbalance as well. So there's not a power imbalance. There's not a explicit denial of consent. It kind of seems like you're just upset, and you just know that someone who's a little bit rougher in bed and is into that sort of rough play is easy to condemn. But it seems more malicious than anything in the way of being a legitimate criticism or something that people would. Oh yeah, the video length. This is a pretty long video. I'm just gonna be skipping through, and I'm honestly just here for the screenshots. I couldn't find this document anywhere, so I'm just here for the screenshots. Don't mind Chud Logic here at the bottom. He's a bit of a chud, as he is stated in here, but yeah, there's a lot to go over. These allegations, I think they get kind of lost in the weeds at a certain point, but it is um it is a long video. So let's keep moving right along. There's a lot to cover. So responding to, sorry to hear that's what happened to you. He told me he was a porn addict in the past, but quit a couple years ago. I believe he replaced his porn addiction with filming other women during sex, because he was unable to ejaculate most of the time during sex, but only through watching the videos he would take. As soon as I confronted him about what I had seen about him online, he wasn't able to maintain an erection, and I think sex is just a huge ego thing for him. I mean, that sucks. this is there's no reason to be sharing any of this stuff. This seems very malicious to be spreading like just kind of his dirty laundry out about his sexual habits, I guess. And I don't really think there's much point in talking about it that much. So let me get this straight. This guy likes to sleep around and browse kiwi farms. Some random chicks he banged off Tinder is mad he wasn't looking for more. Lol, we dated for 7 months. I met his family. So this is just somebody joking that yeah, too much detail honestly for something that isn't career ending. It does just seem like malicious, like an ex-girlfriend who is a little bit
Charge complete.
scorned by how the relationship end. Um so I'm not putting very much stock in this. He banged off Tinder. He's mad he wasn't looking for anything serious. They dated for 7 months, which I mean it does seem weird that this sort of stuff is happening. They were dating for 7 months, and he was unable to like really sexually be involved in the relationship. But I also don't think that's anyone's business what he's able to, what he is into in the bedroom, or what he's like, his sort of vulnerabilities in that area. Can you please provide proof of the abuse allegations, the allegations of sexual impropriety? I don't think it's that hard of an ask. It's hard because he was very careful about what he said over text. And again, I'm not alleging anything illegal, just that he would hit and choke and he was super gooner. Sort of normalized it in my head, but it definitely not okay to do that. All of the proof is in those videos he had. Refused to send me or ignored the question when I asked. Katie told me that the picture of the bruise was due to injuries from sex, which I believe because he would slap both of us. I'm really sorry, guys. It's just, the more people ask for evidence or proof, the less that is being provided, and the less, like, hard hitting this is. I'm not alleging anything illegal. He didn't do anything legally wrong. He didn't do anything really that morally wrong. He was just rough in bed. Did you live together during 7 months? Did he make you stay anywhere sketchy? Had red flags? Did he speak about wanting to start a family? We'd only see each other once a week. He would usually pretty nice, but sometimes would say stuff that made me question intentions, take me to nice places. He wanted to marry me and start a family, but as soon as I started getting sus, it was like a switch flipped. All talk, no evidence. Exactly. This is, it's a pretty, I don't know, it's just not convincing. It's very malicious. This person has no evidence, nothing that really backs it up, and also no story. This is just somebody who dated him and didn't like how he had sex, I guess. Another thing I wanted to confirm was that Kai cheated on him with Liam, 100% real. Tom moved in with her after that. Girl really fucked him up, and he wasn't over her about it during our relationship. So this is just going back. So his relationship with Kai is a thing that people have talked about a lot, and use against him and talk about when they're like messing with him, because it's a sensitive subject, an ex-girlfriend, stuff like that, cheating and all that. And this person's bringing it up just to confirm that it's real, that he got cheated on and that he was messed up about it. So it's very malicious. This is not something that you need to bring up in this moment if you're truly worried about, because this person is alleging that they're just sharing this information to warn other girls. This is to protect the other girlies. This is to help other people. But this evidence and all these statements are just inflammatory. These are just things that are being used to just like make him look like an idiot, I guess. It's really not substantial. It's not helping a case. It's kind of hurting her case the whole time. And it's just it doesn't make either of them look better. It just makes them both look kind of weak. It makes her look very vindictive and very much so like she was trying to get revenge. It seems like it's more to cancel him instead of warning girls. Exactly. This is like the inverse reality of revenge porn. She doesn't have any actual sex videos, but she's using his sexual impropriety to cancel him. It's like revenge porn in a different format. Was he very insecure and controlling about who you talked to because of this? No, it was almost the opposite. He didn't care if I went out to a bar or anything, but yeah, his feelings about his ex, I think, contribute to a lot of his behavior. How long ago did you date? How long ago was the stuff with Katie and the age player girl? We dated from May 2025 to the beginning of this month. Katie and the age player was in 2024. So yet again, just giving more timeline stuff. He wasn't a controlling boyfriend. He was hung up on his ex a little bit, which made it suck. But really, there's nothing bad about him in here. This person comments, did he ever try to impose his ex's style on you, like buying you clothes that she would wear, ask you to change what you wear? You mentioned about being surprised about him being bi. Do you know if any of the girls he flew out were not actually girls? Responding to that, no, he would actually tell me he liked that I looked normal and that he was done with the BPD types. I think one of the screenshots of our messages had him saying something like that. I have no idea about the gender of the e-girls. I'm pretty sure they were all women to my knowledge. Another thing to add, during one of our first dates, he told me I looked like I was around 15. Told Katie the same thing. Okay. So, first of all, he never tried to change her style. He liked how she looks. He was I think he's wrong that when he was saying he was done with the BPD types. I think this is a super BPD thing to do, to post this whole thread making fun, like not even making fun, but exposing these things about him. Obviously he wasn't done with the BPD types. He just he went to the undercover ones. This one was hiding amongst the weeds and caught him in her trap, because this is crazy. This is just an insane thing to do. This is not something that a normal person is going to be doing. I mean, to be fair, she could have lied even more about him in these parts, I guess. Yeah, I mean, at the worst case, even if all of this is true, he said I looked around 15 and told the other girl the same thing. I mean, obviously, he has that, he's definitely into that age play, that Bella Delphine. He's into, like, the braces girls, the stuff that was popular back in, like, 2020, 2022. I think that's very obvious that he is into that sort of archetype. Um, but I don't think there's anything. I mean, it's Goonerish. It's extremely Goonerish, and it is weird. But there's nothing explicitly wrong about it. I just don't see any proof of him actually having, like, uh a liking towards, like, underage people or something like that I think she's trying to imply without directly saying, because as soon as she says something like that's going to require actual proof, and there is no proof. Did Tom ever gossip about any of his YouTube friends? No, not really, but he told me that a lot of YouTube people are fake. He was on Discord like 24/7. Yeah, I mean, obviously YouTube people are fake. They're all personalities. They're all people who are putting on a show. And obviously he was on Discord 24/7 because he has to do a lot of networking with other YouTubers and get collabs and get ideas, and also, get with people who are working on his videos with him. He has editors, he has writers, he has researchers. Like, he's not a one man show, and it's his job. So I don't think that's weird in any way. What was the context? I mean, like, oh baby, you looking 15 and Tommy likey? Like, this person's asking if he's a predator. I mean, to be fair, at least the allegations aren't like he's a predator type stuff. Yeah, that's what this person is asking right here. Oh, was he saying that like he liked it, like he enjoyed that she looked young? Um, so so this person's directly asking, like, is this an allegation? Is this like a predator allegation? And she's saying the context was that I told him he looked older than his age, and in response he said I looked 15 to 16 because it's hard to tell at the ages 15 to 23. Which, that's weird. I think his type, it's hard to tell. I think his sort of he probably just likes those Belle Delphine type, the petite girls, I guess, but I don't think that's anything up to speculation. That is a weird thing to say, that it's hard to tell the ages 15 to 23, because I think it should be pretty apparent to most people. I think this less leans toward him being a predator and more leans into his Gooner tendencies, his Belle Delphine addiction, and that's really the only frame of reference for, like, getting across the archetype of girl that he seems very obviously to be into. It's just it's gross. It is weird, but it's not illegal, and it's not directly wrong. I don't know. It's just, this is the worst, like, example of his impropriety, and it still isn't that bad. So it's very hard to want to take this seriously as an allegation or as a serious critique of his character. Sorry, let me take a drink. Sorry, getting a little bit of dry mouth from yapping for an hour straight. So let's move right on ahead because it's really nothing burger still at this point. So speaking of legality, there's nothing that pisses me off more than predators getting caught online and exposed and never getting arrested. That's true. That happens a lot with those have you ever watched those predator catcher videos where they're like show up and beat them up and then nothing really happens because you just assaulted someone in public? Uh, People doing predator catching for clout is stupid. It's mad dumb, and there's some really evil people, or not even evil people, just dumb people doing it. Just for the fuck of it. Uh, but let's move right on ahead. So these are more text screenshots. So this might be too personal, but text about being hurt and bleeding after sex. I really don't have much evidence because he was so careful and told me all of this was normal. Let's see. There's a zoomed in version. Like, we don't need to do it 3 times in one day or do it so hard I hurt and bleed. Well, if you don't want to have sex as much, we don't gotta. We can do other things. Okay, I like doing other things too. This is another just like super. This is a consensual conversation. They're talking about how much sex they were having. She was feeling uncomfortable with how much and like how hard they were going, and he was just like, okay, we don't have to. We can just do other. I mean, he's saying horny shit. Like, he still wants to fuck. He wishes she wasn't like having a problem with doing it so much, and is suggesting she just like suck his dick instead. But she immediately goes, okay, I like doing other things too. She's like, okay, that's a resolution to that problem. Yeah, he said, okay, if you don't want to, we're not going to. He consented. He's not like saying, no, you have to have sex with me. No, I'm gonna do this. Like, he's not doing anything unconsensual. He's literally doing the right thing. Like, I mean, he's being a gooner. He's being a little bit pushy, but he is not crossing any boundaries that are being set. Like, she set a boundary of it hurts a lot and we're doing it too much. Okay, if you don't want to have sex, we can do other things. We don't have to like. I don't gotta beat up that pussy all the time. I can do some other things. I can crush that fart box if you want. Was this due to him being either uncaring or aggressive during sex, or was this a health issue you had? This is not crossing the boundary of abusive. Yeah, this is completely within the bounds of like a normal relationship. I mean, it could be a little bit weird that he's like going crazy, but it's still her response is completely within the bounds of like she's okay with this. She like this is just being brought back up because uh she thinks it looks bad that it hurt her, but she also doesn't realize that the context that she included actually kind of vindicates him, makes him look better, even though it is weird that he's into such rough sex. Was this due to him being either uncaring or aggressive? I have no health issue that I know of, never bled during sex before, it was the aggression. Just gave into it after a while and told him I liked it, but I bled after almost every time, I think it says after that. That is, I mean, that sucks, and I don't think she should have gone along with it, but she knew that this was his thing. She knew that he was going to consistently keep doing this, and she also knew that he was willing to take steps back according to this screenshot. So there's really nothing to report here about like whether or not he was doing anything wrong necessarily. I mean, obviously it's kind of weird and it's very gooner, very like aggressive sex, but he's showing that he does take consent into account in all of these moments, so that it's very hard to want to empathize with the point she's trying to get across when he's not crossing these lines. If you don't let them know about the issue, of course they'll continue. Yeah, exactly. Like, so in this screenshot, so the correlation between this message of her saying that she bled almost every time and he was very aggressive, she's trying to correlate it with this screenshot, right? But this screenshot shows her taking an issue with how much they were doing it. I guess he doesn't really respond to the aggression of it, but he does respond to the frequency, and then she responds like very very appreciatively in a way that makes it seem like that was a resolved issue. So correlating her taking issue with how rough he was after that screenshot kind of defeats its own purpose. It's a very uncomplimentary combination. Like if there was a screenshot of her saying, "Hey, you were going really hard," and he goes, "Sorry, I can't really control myself," then he's denying the ability to change, or he's downplaying her issue with it. But he doesn't do that, and she doesn't really press the issue any further. So there's not much recourse that can be taken from that point. Did he ever give? Okay, this is more just like sex questions. Did he give aftercare, or just expect you to get over it? Would just go on his phone after all that, literally choking and hitting me, making me bleed. Had to teach him to be nice after this. This was an issue at the beginning. I believe he was bleeding because he would basically just bend me over and stick his dick. Okay, this is just her more explaining that he was rough in bed. Okay, finally made it. Yes, Tom is extremely harsh during sex. Honestly, just seems like she wished they were still together and tried to ruin him after breaking up, unless she's the one who broke away. It seems like she. So in earlier messages, she was taking issue with like his internet presence, and also some of the people he was talking to online, and like his past. And it seems like she said it was a mutual thing, which does make me lean to believe that she really did want to like work it out more, but he was just more willing to break things off and move on. It seems like she's feeling scorned, like she's feeling wronged in this situation. So I'm gonna move ahead and get a better angle on this. So this is Left 4 Dead: The Other X, the um, Katie girl, I believe. Hi, yes, I made an account. Yeah, the context does help. Like it's the fact that they broke up and it seemingly was mutual, and uh they had issues. She mostly had the issues, and he was willing to break off because he didn't want to change, and that's perfectly reasonable for both of them to move along from that relationship. I think she's mad that he didn't want to change for her, and this is where the issue comes up. Tom is extremely harsh during sex. I've been down the kink roads, and he acts just like actually just evil and almost sadistic. Not even kinked up, just a Patrick Bateman type gooner. First girl already posted some of my screenshots, but if everyone has questions, I'll see if I can answer. So she's just corroborating the story. I mean, there's no reason not to believe that this is an ex. That's perfectly fine. But it's still just describing like, okay, he's rough and he's not kind, but they consented, and they don't ever mention once about being like stop, like that they wanted it to stop or that they wanted to change. It's just he was rough, and there's nothing illegal with rough. It's just I don't know. Like even if someone is doing something objectively wrong, you can't just expect them to change for you. Yeah, I mean it seems like he did the reasonable thing, and he was willing to break off the relationship and carry on with it with their lives and go separate ways. And she seems upset, or like she wants this internet clout, or like she just wants to be a part of a story. And that's where we're getting this issue where we're running into her coming to this website that is known for doxing and harassing people and being very vicious, and she thinks she's going to be able to win some internet points and hurt him. So weirdo but not criminal. Exactly. He's weird. He's kinky, or not even kinky. He's rough. He's rough, and he likes being rough, and he's happy with how he's doing things, and he left the relationship. So he didn't do anything illegal. Everything was consensual until it wasn't, and then things stopped. That seems like that's how it was. Has Tom attempted to reach out to you at all since you've registered and first posted? I told him I was considering reaching out to law enforcement and telling people about everything that went down, and then I blocked him after listing out every single thing he did wrong, because I know he will send my text to his lawyer. So, if everything that she listed out to him is everything that she's posting here, she has nothing. There's nothing illegal that he did. And I think that's honestly why she came here, is because she realized that she couldn't go to the police and she wanted to get something. So she went and posted on Kiwi Farms to try and just piss him off to an extent. He also said how it's awesome I looked like a little girl the first time we had sex, told me he was excited to learn I had BPD because girls with it love harder. So, okay, this one's a little bit weird. It was awesome I looked like a little girl, and girls with BPD love harder sex. Yet again, just a Gooner thing. It's awesome. You look like a little girl. That is weird. That is creepy. But it just doesn't show any sort of actual like attraction to children. It just shows an attraction to like petite women, younger looking women, and it's I mean it is weird. And the BPD girls love it harder. That's weird. That's weird. That's Gooner. That's gross. That's improper sex. That's like, he's having sex not to have children. He's having sex to come, I guess. I don't know. But it's not illegal. None of this is proving anything worse than he's weird. And being weird is not something that you're gonna go to jail for or get like severely canceled for. I mean, people that are trying to be mad at this guy are gonna be mad at this guy because something happened, because anything happened. I know a lot of YouTubers that are weirdos outside of YouTube, but I don't think they're criminals. Same thing here, I'd assume. Yeah, exactly. Like, I think anyone is going to be a weirdo if they're putting their personality out there online. I think you need to be a little bit of a weirdo to be doing this sort of thing. So I just don't think, so long as you're not a criminal, so long as you're not actually doing anything illegal or into anything illegal, there's just no substance to any of these allegations. It's just coming up with a blank face every time. Um, Preferably you should drop everything you have on him. I gotta upload everything from my phone to my PC. I got crazy audio of him saying he wants to night rape me, which for sure think he was trying to say. Okay, let's see if he scrolls down a little bit. Okay, so here's an accusation that is a little bit stranger. For sure think he was saying that as like a negative riz, but actually insane to use that as riz. So here's another just, it's Gooner shit. He openly said he wants to night rape her, which obviously is weird. But if he's saying that to her, that's asking for consent. He's not like if he wanted to do this and didn't care about consent, he wouldn't have said it. He wouldn't have said anything. He would have just done something gross. He would have just done something disgusting. I think this is just blowing out of proportion a guy who's into crazy sex. And like that's I just can't I can't condemn someone completely and like want their career ruined or them to have any sort of negative consequence because they want to have consensual weird sex. It's not up for the internet to decide. It's not for really anyone to decide except for the participants. Okay, let's read some more. What made you turn on him? Obviously he's done some shit, but what moment made you decide fuck this? Not career ending, that seems to be the pattern in this case. Yeah, none of this is career ending. I think that's why not many people are picking up this story. I have a couple of tabs open up here where there's some stuff to read, like comments wise, but really I haven't seen any videos from legitimate people that are condemning this. There just doesn't seem to be anyone that is truly believing this. I honestly just wanted to cover this because I like the guy. I've watched a lot of his stuff. But I really never thought this was going to be a career ending thing. Has he responded? No. That is something he was very consistent about when he was live streaming last year. He hasn't been live streaming for the last year because he kind of just got sick of it. He wanted to focus more on YouTube videos. But while he was live streaming, he was very open that he is very strategic about how he responds to things like this. Any sort of controversy, he's going to make the right decision because he analyzes people who are in internet controversy. And I think what he's going to do is he's going to look at all this evidence, he's going to read these messages, and he's not going to do anything about it because he already sees that there's nothing substantive enough in these allegations that he has to respond to. And I think responding in any way actually would only hurt him in this scenario. The only the only thing a response would do is legitimize anything that they're saying or give him an opportunity to say something wrong. All of this already kind of condemns itself in a allegation sort of sense, so there's just no. Yeah, it makes them seem more real. Yeah, if he legitimizes any of these complaints as anything more than uh, scorned lovers, people who are upset after a breakup, then there's really no point in responding. And legitimizing them would only serve to hurt him in this situation. What made you turn on him? I just truly thought he was a cringe guy who Def was going to beat me later if I stayed around. We only had 2 months fling because my insane ass was scared. Also just was just stupid. I hated conversation with him. Okay, you didn't like him. What specifically did he do? What proof do you have? He was extremely weird, also evil as fuck during sex. Okay, same shit as earlier. I had a small fling with him. I would have to fly out to see him. I'm just here to add validity to her statements. I also have rando audio recordings in every DM and text. Senses a threat to him seemingly in that case. Yeah. So, again, this person's just like, yeah, he didn't really do anything wrong. He was just, like, kind of weird, and I didn't like the sex was rough, and I didn't like it. I consented to it, and I did it, and I stopped when I didn't want to do it anymore. Is there going to be any new stuff/info they're going to bring to the table? I don't know. It really seems like this is a lot of, okay, there seems to be some audio files coming up here. So maybe we're going to hear something a little bit more crazy, but I really don't see where this can really
charge complete.
There's nothing that they've said that could lead into or like develop into anything crazy, and I feel like if they haven't said anything yet in this situation that is condemning, they should have already said something if it was something crazy. Are they going to bring anything new to the table? I think what they're waiting for is the audio files and possibly some more screenshots, but if this is their only allegation that he was rough at sex, other than, so they do allege that he was recording them during sex without their consent, which is wrong. That is the one thing that is, I think, a little bit beyond, that is something that is worth condemning, and I'm not sure if that would be enough for him to respond to, because it is still just going to hurt him if he responds. But that is probably the worst thing in these allegations. He did record them supposedly during sex, allegedly, according to the first girl, and that is the only part that I would like more proof of to make a more condemning statement. But at this point, there's not enough evidence for anything to be condemning or to outright write him off as a bad actor in this situation. It's just looping around the rough sex and not even going back on the videos to make it seem longer and worse, just to defame him. True, they're just trying to make the thread longer and more damning to him. Is there anything particularly interesting or damning? I'm turning on my old phone now to grab the videos, and I'll post whatever I think is semi-relevant. So going over here, this person responded, the original poster mentioned a just-in-case folder. Can you confirm what would be in that folder? Do you know if there's anything related to you? Is this the type of, or is there stuff in here? So in the original post, the original poster mentioned a just-in-case folder full of audio files and text files of sort of reverse blackmail in case any of the people that he was involved with sexually attempted to blackmail him or do something like this to him where they tried to cancel him. He had evidence and stuff built up to make sure that he could defend himself in these scenarios. And they're asking if she can confirm that there was a folder full of stuff for defending himself or possibly reverse blackmail, things like that, to make sure that any bad stuff that gets out would not damn him as much. So, in response, the original poster says, no clue. He told me it was a phone call / text from his ex Kai. I'm probably in there too now. Might be other stuff as well. So it's just a folder full of calls and texts from his relationships to help him out in case of anything crazy coming out, which honestly, this situation proves that he was right to have a just-in-case folder. He was right to have a backup just in case, to make sure that if somebody said something crazy about him, he would be able to defend himself. I think he's completely justified based on this situation where somebody tries to bring up stuff that really does not seem that bad, and he is still being forced to, like, if he does get to the point, if people do pick up this story to the point of him needing to defend himself, then it would be reasonable to have all that stuff on hand instead of having to be in that situation where he's like, this isn't true, I don't have anything to prove it, but this isn't true, or this is being blown out of proportion. So I just think it's not a damning fact that he has a folder for defending himself in situations like this. This is more stuff. How did you guys meet? So far, no smell problem. So he didn't. This is literally just like Q&A stuff. This is nothing important right here. This is just This is just like talking about how he is as a person. Like this. Yeah, his suspicions were confirmed. It was confirmed that he had a reason to be suspicious of people, to be paranoid about certain things, and he was right. And now, literally, these people who are here to cancel him are answering Q&As about him as a person. Did he initiate contact with you? Did he stink? Did he like he smell? Oh, he smelled. Also, last time I saw him, he had a ringworm. Okay, he had hygiene problems. That's cool. He's a YouTuber who lives in a basement. He's gonna have hygiene problems. It's just like the more these allegations are turning into a Q&A for an ex-girlfriend of his, the more this is turning into something that is not to be taken seriously. So, oh, okay, here we are. We have calls. Sent you the videos and DMs along with a basic summary in case you don't want to show them on stream, labeled as Tom Call 1, Call 2, boosted audio versions. So these are phone calls, supposedly, with the victims and Tom himself. So we're going to unpause the video. We might have to listen to some Chud Logic commentary here, but let's go ahead and check it out.
Can you hear this?
I'm a fan of night rape. I like night rape. After a long day at work, a little night rape.
Wait, what was that?
Okay, wait, let's go back over this. So,
can you hear this?
I'm a fan of night rape.
I'm a fan of night rape. I like night rape. It's a long day at work. I want night rape. Okay, so night rape is obviously he's talking about it, like he wants to have a scenario where his partner is supposedly pretending to be unaware, and he sneaks in the room and takes advantage of her. He wants to have simulated unconsensual sex with a consenting partner. While this is a weird kink, this is a pretty normal kink that I've heard of before. This is something that I've heard of people, or I've never heard of. I think I have read stories of people being into, or like seen like Reddit stories of people being into, or whatever horny shit, but this is a completely consensual, normal thing that people are into from time to time. So let's hear this a little bit more.
What was that? Unprofessional. Dude, professional media player.
Okay.
Listen.
Let's hear this again.
I'm a fan of night rape. I like night rape. After a long day at work, a little night rape.
Okay.
True.
And then she says, true, and he starts laughing at that. He says I'm a fan of night rape. I want a little night rape. It's been a long day at work. I want some night rape. Okay, cool. And then she says, true. He starts laughing. Okay, this is a totally... I mean, she's recording this because she thinks it's weird, but she's going along with it and like... and agreeing with him, so there's no reason for him to believe that she doesn't want to be a part of this, or doesn't want to play into his fantasy. She's recording because she knows that it's weird. Why would you go along with it if you didn't like it? Of course, like, you're saying true, but you're recording it like this is some damning evidence. This is two consenting adults talking about a sexual fantasy. That's I just don't think there's anything about that is like criminal, wrong, or even worth noting. I think this is just sort of just to embarrass him, really. I the more I listen and watch these things, they're just trying to embarrass him. All right, let's go ahead to the second call, I think.
Okay. Well, that's yeah. Okay.
So the second call. What if she was going along with it just to stab him in the back later if they were to break up? Of course, yeah, exactly. I think already these women have been confirmed to be mentally unstable. This is the first girl. This is this is the second girl that came in later who is a confirmed BPD. He commented that he likes BPD. Like, he knows she's a little bit unstable and that she's prone to things like this. So he should know. He should have known better. But he does know, and she knows that this is just malicious. This is malicious recording. This is something to get at him later for. This is nothing of substance, really.
Right.
Okay, let's see about this.
Yeah, I'm still shocked that you.
Small and petite. Problem?
Okay.
Problem?
It's like a
Section.
my arms are gonna break at one point.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry about that. Let's just see if we can get this audio. Okay. Let's hear this.
Bro. Okay. Oh my god, dude. This is.
Yeah, it does just seem like a massive betrayal. Seems like a scorned lover, somebody trying to get revenge.
You're trying to push me away that I like put on top of you, like really put all my weight on you.
True, actually true.
Yeah, it seems like an untrustworthy relationship. Exactly. This is somebody who neither of them, or he seemingly trusted her a little bit more. He was just in it for the sex and kind of just trusted that she was consenting, and she was playing along with it and didn't say no, but was thinking no, or was like thinking that she didn't like it. So it's like he was supposed to read her mind, or it seems like she was going along with all of this just to expose him, like through and through. That's it.
You were like, ow, wow.
True, okay, yeah, you're too strong sometimes. My little noodle arms, I thought my arms were gonna break at one point.
Okay, so they're talking about putting weight, presumably in some.
Okay. Alright, like this, like Chud was about to say, it seems they're just talking about some of the rougher sexual stuff that they were doing.
Sort of.
She's talking about it like sort of laughingly, and he's like, yeah, she's like, yeah, and they're just talking about it. She doesn't seem upset really. She's mentioning it, and he knows about it, but she's not like saying he should stop. At least not yet.
True. So true.
It's so nice though. It's like, cause like you're like small, petite, and I'm like big and strong. It's like.
Okay. She honestly seemed pretty happy in this relationship compared to her messages about him. Yeah, they're just having like a conversation on the phone. They're talking about like the sex they were having. They're having a very casual conversation about it. It seems like a decent relationship where they're not like strained or anything. They're just talking about things. He's saying I mean, obviously he's into like he does have power fantasies, but he's not it doesn't seem like he's abusing the power though. It seems like he has power fantasies in like a very open way, and he doesn't hide it. It's just something he does, and if they don't consent, he doesn't do it, or at least to our knowledge, they consented the entire time and kept doing it. She as soon as they're no longer together, boom, instantly she hated him the entire time. Yeah, and I think honestly there was a little bit of malice from it, during it. If she's oh, sorry about that. Might have just destroyed my audio. But it seems like there was malice the entire time if these recordings even exist. So it kind of seems like he's kind of being victimized here and put into a negative light just for like the revenge factor.
Sure,
Oh, small and petite. Dude, problem?
He's got like small tits and I have a big dick. It's like perfect.
Oh.
true.
It's like the ideal thing. It's my thing.
I'm still shocked that you like my boobs.
I do. Fucking, I feel like when I imagine fucking the elf girl from Game of Thrones would be like.
So true.
Okay. Elf
Okay, he's calling her Daenerys Targaryen from Game of Thrones. Okay, like So he's not even imagining her as like a child in his mind when he's fucking her. He's just imagining like a petite woman, which is a totally, there are petite women. There are women who are not like, not every woman has double D tits and a fat ass and is like 6 feet tall. There are some people are into the petite women, the things that are, that's just what he's into. He's into smaller women, and he has a dominating nature. The evidence making the supposed bad guy turn into the victim, insane. Yeah, like if you're looking at this from a standpoint of not trying to like just find reasons to hate the guy, you start to just realize that he's being put on blast for totally consensual sexual acts, and like, and nothing is being, nothing he's doing is wrong here. And it's kind of crazy when you think about it. Videos of him talking about holding me down and hurting my arms and me running away. Also night rape. Ignore how awkward I sound, guys. Imagine being on the phone with him. Okay, this is him talking about like these things, but when you listen to this video, yeah, if you consent to it, then it's kind of your fault if something bad happens. You have to express your worries and your disapproval and your lack of consent, or else you're not giving him the communication that is needed, or like it doesn't seem like there's, at least we're not seeing the situations where even there's implied lack of consent, which is a real thing. Like, she doesn't have to directly say no, but if she's saying yes, and if she's like laughing and talking with him about it, there's not even implied lack of consent. There is like almost direct consent. It's like she was consenting just to gather evidence. Exactly. And that's sort of what this message afterwards says. Ignore how awkward I sound, guys. Imagine being on the phone with him, but you're laughing and like, I mean, you could be awkwardly laughing, but you're talking to him and you're like, you're playing into these fantasies with him. So it's just like, I don't know. You're abusing his, oh, actually, I don't know if you're abusing him, but you're just like taking his totally seemingly consensual actions and trying to recontextualize them after the fact. It's like you're revoking consent after the fact, which is just not how it works. And they don't even imply that he did anything wrong or that they didn't consent. They just keep saying that he was rough. This worst thing is he seemingly trusted this girl a lot. Yeah, he was laughing on the phone. He was like trying to be charismatic in his own way, which, I mean, that's arguable whether or not he was actually like somebody that, you know, is charismatic. But it's just he's talking about things. He's having sexual conversation. Of course, it's going to be a little bit like weird, but I mean, he's just talking. He's just shooting the shit. Wait, guys, did this work? I'm a retard. How do I upload a video? Let me know. Got you. Why were you recording in the first place? Was this before or after you met? Did you explicitly fuck him for the clout and one day expose him? The ooh so small LARP is pretty cringe. He's way worse though, lol, because I'm so big and strong. Okay, let's see. So yeah, this person's like, so were you consenting ever? Did you actually want to be here? Like, what's going on here? Let's. Yeah, okay, so this is just going over the calls again.
The thing
but so I want to see a response to those messages. I want to see a response to this this question about like whether or not they were just fucking him for the clout, or if like why they were recording in the first place. Let's jump ahead. Let's see. Does he scroll down and like sort of frame this up better? Okay, I guess not. My best friend was at my house and thought I was a victim from the jump. He was saying similar stuff all calls, so she started recording. At the end of the night, whisper, "You a victim?" So the friend is there, thinks that she's a victim. I was only playing along because I had DK. What else to say? Also, I talked to him because both emo with similar interests. We had nothing in common, and he listens to bad emo music, lol. Also, was only involved with Jet stuff because IDK, I'm a hot girl online who's the same evil spheres, so they tend to orbit to me. Abby exposed Jet on my behalf, lol, over bitterness. I didn't even know who Ellie was or the whole drama there. I guess I accidentally opened that wormhole. So this person, she was around Tom because they're in similar circles. I was only playing along because I don't know what else to say, but you also seemingly completely consented to the interaction. So unless were you young, like were you what, like there's nothing illegal here. He didn't pressure you. He what do you mean? I don't know what else to say. Yeah, say no, or like if you're not actually happy with it, don't do it, because if you're if you don't want to be a part of this, say so, and he'll just go find someone who does want to be a part of these sexual activities. This isn't like, he's not forcing you. He's not saying he's gonna kill you. He's not gonna beat you. He's not gonna like blackmail you if you don't do this. Like, you don't have any proof of that, and you don't even accuse him of it. You just literally are you're going along with it because you know he's famous and you want to fuck him over? I don't know. Um so let's okay. I thought, but turns out at the end of the night rape you can barely hear her whisper, "You a victim?" Okay. Fuck it, dude. I'm leaking. Kai is into age play. Lyrics told me when he first broke up with her. Yeah, okay. Claims YouTuber Aiden projects about Kai and Tom. Okay. This is just more exposing their sexual interests. Like, you have a functioning brain, right? You can say no unless you're like very scared of him, but it doesn't seem like you are. So yeah, exactly. She's not seemingly scared of him. There's no texts or messages or video calls or audio recordings or anything implying that she was not consenting to these things at the time. So she's just bringing these things up to backstab, to get back at him, to throw it back in his face, to expose him for how he likes to have sex, and it really just doesn't make sense. Screenshots of El Jefe / Aiden were posted in Chud's Discord, then to KF. Okay, this is just more stuff. Lyrics confided in me like 2 years ago this one that Kai likes to pretend to be a little girl during sex and did this with Tom. That's why I went so insane when Lyrics got back with her. Okay, this is... So Kai is an ex of Tom's, the main person of this expose, I guess. Turkey Tom. And this is just exposing that she's into acting young when she has sex, but I mean, that's weird. That is undeniably very strange and very weird, but if it's still two consenting adults, there's just not much that really is like totally undeniably condemnable about these actions. It's just sexual impropriety that is legally can't do anything about it. And it's not even like the legality of it. I mean, obviously you want everything to be legal, but also it's just like it's no one's business, really. Like, if this is what you're doing with two consensual adults in the privacy of your own home, it really isn't something that should be being exposed or should be like getting mass attention or being used as blackmail against a person when there's nothing truly being wrong being done. It's weird, but sex is weird. People are weird people like doing things that are weird. Legally can't do anything about it, nor is it cancelable, though you might look at them differently depending on who you are. Yeah, of course, people, okay. That is the most reasonable thing to come out of this, to say, okay, this guy, he's a little out there, and you know what? I think it's kind of weird that he's into this thing. I prefer to just like, I'm gonna steer clear. Okay, that's perfectly fine. But at the end of the day, you're not going to be like, this guy should lose his career. This guy shouldn't be allowed to do anything now because of this. Because that just doesn't make sense. It's not a reasonable, like, response to these allegations. These aren't even allegations. These are just, like, exposing random shit. It just doesn't make sense. Also, was only involved with Just Stuff because I'm a hot girl. So you pass around e-thought. This person responds, no. Okay, so this is... Also, why did I assume Kai was a boy at first? True. Kai's a boy named Tom. Gay confirmed. Actually, bisexual confirmed in this thread, or in a previous thread. So this person... I think people in this thread are starting to catch on, because you're seeing more comments like this. The secondary accuser left for dead. So you're a pass around e-thought. No, I never met JRL or any 4chan freak, but Tom LEL lol. So these people are starting to troll her. They're starting to laugh at her. They're realizing that this is a stupid nothing accusation. Besides the age play bullshit, can you tell us about any weird shit he's also into? She dated him longer, so she might have more insight, lol, but to me, he was just weird as shit. Forced play again into small girls and damn near age play. Yeah. Why didn't you go on Bitch Tank? Wasn't allowed. Okay, this is just about Fish Tank live stuff, which is pretty funny. Tell us about a time he cried, LMAO. I'm back. Told me only cried at Sopranos / movies. So she never saw him cry. These people are just looking for like any sort of random stuff. I don't know. They just want like irrelevant. Yeah, all this stuff is irrelevant. This isn't anything to cancel him. This isn't anything to like corroborate their stories or make it more believable or even make it more damning to him, to his character. It's just bullshit. Wage War, Alpha Wolf, A Day to Remember, only band we had in common. He listened to a lot of like new age slop. What did Tom's living space look like? Is that what the next hour is going to be? Just like stuff that doesn't matter? I don't know. I think I'm going to start skimming a little bit more because it does seem like these accusations are totally just bullshit and there's really no substance to them. And we're going to see later, I have a couple of these tabs open where people are not actually looking into these accusations and they're getting upset. They want a response, but there's nothing to respond to. There's nothing to talk about. This is a completely irrelevant situation that truly should have never gotten blown out of proportion. These women are just trying to get clout off of saying that he fucks weird. What does Tom's living space look like? Oh, it's messy. Oh no, he's messy. Do you know Magdalene? Okay, this is a e-girl, puppy girl that he made a video about. They might have fucked because they made a video together. Who helped expose Jet Neptune and say Chris Lynch sent her $100? She's not the lolicon pedo baiter. Just seemed too far off. So this is just giving more context about who these people are, which is just like, these are e-thoughts. These are just e-thoughts. Like, you can't say that. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. This is just more bullcrap. I think some people are confused. Posting photos of me at an anime con, then with a Hello Kitty purse, isn't close to what these freaks ass hoes do at all. Okay, now these people are just defending themselves. Fun fact, Tom discontinued his Discord server because there were a lot of problems with people sexting and e-fucking on there, which is incredibly ironic considering what's public now. So they're like, oh, it's funny that he disavowed people being like weird on Discord, and then he was actually being weird on Discord. Okay, so he did the right thing. Nicholas Diorio and Twitter. Oh, just to be clear, I've seen literally nothing of what's occurred tonight. To my understanding, it is Half Baked, which is a podcast that Tom is on hiatus for a little while, so we will see in the next couple of days where that goes. Okay, so these people, they want a response out of a co-host or a friend of Tom's, and the co-host basically just says, I've seen nothing, but if there's something going on, we're probably going to take a break and take a breather. Okay, so they're going to wait to talk before he says anything, which makes sense. So let's go here. My headset turned off. Okay, so alright, this is just more. Girl he sent dick pic to got hacked on his age play Delphine girl. This is just the girl that got hacked and had dick pics on the Twitter of his. It's just another petite girl that fits that archetype that we know that he's into. Okay, kind of irrelevant, doesn't really make sense. Huge for lolicon and earls. Okay, okay. I mean, being a lolicon is kind of gross, but I don't even know if you could really make that accusation of him other than what Sacramento sent 2 pictures of herself with Turkey Tom and of herself by herself with a note and a fashion accessory that matches the photos with TT. Fun fact, Tom discontinued his Discord. So this is the official moderator of Kiwi Farms saying basically it's confirmed that this person does know Tom. These people did interact. This isn't all made up. This is this is stuff to corroborate. She's not making it up completely. And at this point, I think, honestly, okay, now he's just going through, okay, I think that's enough of this video. There's nothing else really to go over other than he's into some weird shit. He likes petite girls, and that's kind of it. I don't know. Let's go over it. So I was talking about earlier with this information dropping, people are mad at him, and people are mad at him mostly just means internet people that want to be outraged at anything. At this point, it's people who want a reason to cancel anyone. At this point, they just look for, this is the sector of the internet that looks for any weakness and will exploit it and will harp on people for it until they crack and stoop to their level. But realistically, most people won't do that. They'll just they'll just be adults and they'll move on. And that's what I assume Tom is going to do with this situation, unless anything comes out that's actually damning or actually makes him look bad. He's probably not going to respond to this. He's probably going to continue to stay silent and post his videos, and that's about it. He's just going to move on, and people are going to forget about this very quickly. There's always going to be the handful of haters in the comments that are going to go, oh, what about this person? What about this situation? You still haven't said anything. Haha, that's funny. But also, nothing illegal was done. Nothing was actually wrong with these situations. It was just him being weird. So let's go over to here. So this is a video that Turkey Tom posted today. 7 hours ago, this was posted to the Turkey Tom channel right after these allegations started really popping off. So looking here in the comments, you see Elephant address me. Elephant in the room. Live by the slop, die by the slop. Sir, a scorned ex-girlfriend has hit the KF thread. Basically, this person's even just saying, yeah, your ex is mad and she said some mean shit. For everyone interested in the drama, his ex comes out and claims he would film them without her consent during deeds. Engaged in age play, and they can only finish by himself by watching clips of them together. These are really the main issues that actually could be of concern, which this is probably a very good faith like interpretation and sort of truncating of this information. He would film them without her consent, which is bad, which I do think to an extent with more proof would need to be answered to. Engaged in age play, that's arguable. I think it's more that he likes petite girls. Can only finish by himself. That's not relevant at all. These are not proven. Very few screenshots. Don't even know if it's his real ex, but they have chats. Waiting for a response to either confirm or disprove all of this is fake. I don't think a response is going to be the most helpful thing in this situation. Click this video exclusively for the comments. Type of guy to post through allegations 2026. Rough timing. Turkey Tom files about to drop. Comment section gonna be crazy. These are people who I think they looked at thumbnails, saw like 5 seconds of a video, and now they are I don't know, now this is just going to be a little bit of a raid on his channel. I don't think any of this is going to really hurt him. So actually, let me refresh real quick. This is his co-host Nick Diorio, the one who confirmed that they're not going to talk about it yet, or that they're going to wait to talk about these things. Second, earbuds are acting a little funky, but yeah. So this is his co-host who said they were just going to put the podcast on hiatus for a little bit until he responds. So let's see. Actually, there's not really anything in here. The people aren't really responding over here. Turkey Tom, just searching him on Twitter right now is getting a little bit of traction, but I really don't think any of it is too much of note either. Once said, people who do AB/DL age play have a lot of overlap with those who have inappropriate interactions with minors. So let's see this.
ABDL refers to adult baby diaper lovers. In other words, adults who like wearing diapers and role-playing as children. It's pretty sickening and generally has a lot of overlap with those who have inappropriate interactions.
Okay, so this is sort of making a correlation between him saying that that if you're into age play, you're more likely to be a predator and to actually act out on those thoughts and those desires. But that's not the ABDL. The diaper thing, the real baby shit, that's not what he did at all. That's not what was even implied. I mean, Hacked was an age play / Belle Delphine type girl. This is the archetype. This isn't even saying that that was necessarily what he was there for. He could have been there for the aesthetic. He could have been there for anything. But even if he was there for that reason, I think there is still a fine line between being into something kind of crazy and actually acting out on something that is much more sinister, much more illegal. YouTuber Turkey Tom is facing allegations by a previous ex-girlfriend whom he dated for 7 months, and a 2-month fling, of recording sexual encounters with them without consent. This ex is also stating that nothing illegal happened, and it's not revenge porn. While coming forward with the allegation, this ex also stated they were considering contacting the police but didn't. Starting the ex lets folks know that one of Tom's ex-girlfriends was hacked, and the hackers were blackmailing him. The allegations continue with the accusation that Turkey Tom hit this fling and bruised her face. The fling also states that Turkey Tom is into age play. The ex that made the initial Kiwi Farms post states that Turkey Tom was rough during their sexual encounters and would choke and hit her as well. Turkey Tom's show with commentary streamer Nicholas Diorio and commentary YouTuber Lord Vega is also on hiatus. It is unknown why it's on hiatus, but it was announced tonight on Nick's stream. Only testimony was provided on Kiwi Farms and no further evidence was provided. Kiwi Farms is asking for further evidence from the fling and the ex. So this is yet again just sort of going over the things that we've read tonight. And a lot of it just, I don't know, there's not much that adds up. Genuinely how YouTube commentary looks within. Lyrics, age play pedophile, Aiden doxing Jew, Queeman, just a Jew, Turkey Tom may or may not be a rapist woman beater. I think that is very uncharitable from reading all of this evidence. I don't think rapist woman beater is accurate at all. I think there was very much so implied, if not explicit, consent in a lot of these. Josh, a broke weeb, addicted troon, Turkey Tom, Jeffrey Epstein, I hate pedophiles, calling it ironic that he covers these like sort of lolcows and bad people on the internet, yet is someone who is being accused of engaging in things similar to that. Nicholas Diorio being ratioed for ignoring the Turkey Tom allegations by the audience tonight on stream, which is fair to an extent, because I do think that he needs to look this over and respond to it and give a very fair analysis of this, because a lot of this information is stuff that really you can't I don't know, there's just not much that's condemning about it. I mean, if they're trying to be consistent, and what I'm seeing about the Nicholas Diorio side of these things is that quite possibly the reason that people are more upset at Nick right now is because he and their a bunch of their contemporaries have condemned people for very similar things of this level. And in that case, it does raise a little bit of concern that it would be hypocritical of Nick to not cover this and raise these valid concerns if there's proof. I think with valid proof and corroborating information, I think that can be validated, but I don't think it's smart to just go about ignoring it or saying that it's not worth your time, because that also does look bad on you, because it looks like you're covering for him. And there isn't much to cover for. You're not really covering for someone when there's nothing implicitly, explicitly very wrong with what happened. Wait by the river long enough and the body of your enemy will float by you. Turkey Tom got allegations. These are just more texts. These are the same texts. Finally found a dude last night to fuck. So yeah, these are just tweets kind of memeing about it. It really doesn't seem all that serious. Nothing about any of these even responses are giving the implication that this is turning out to be anything bigger than a nothing burger. I don't think there's much we can go off of here that will make this anything that isn't a nothing burger. There's nothing verifying any of this is extremely true. There's nothing in here. Oh, I obviously have been... Okay, this is a Nicholas Diorio response, supposedly. This is a statement. I obviously have been streaming all night, so I am going to probably dig into it tomorrow. Fair warning, for obvious reasons, I don't feel like I'm able to be super impartial here regardless, but that may change when I look into what he actually did. In the meantime, this topic can be here or moved into drama talk chat. No restrictions. Happy hunting, half-baked, obviously on hold. So, it does seem that he's looking into it. Nicholas Story will probably be making some sort of a statement in the coming days. I don't think it's smart for him to all out ignore it, but if he does look into things and finds issues with it, then that is valid, and he should cover that, because if he covers for him, that ruins his own what's it called? His reputation, his reputable sourcing as a commentator is going to be tarnished if Nicholas Story does not cover this in a meaningful way and give it a fair shake. So I think, okay. Katie Story Archives. Seeing Tom today. I'm not sleeping. I have to go to airport in 3 hours. And I will still have the stupid bruise on my face. Okay. This is just screenshots. This is just her old stories from them. More screenshots. Okay. The bruise on my face was real. Here's multiple different photos and timestamps of it, lol. IDK if I got it from him hitting me or holding my mouth closed, but he did both, so it could have been either. He even commented on the bruise the next day, not even apologizing, just said that he was scared to take me in public because I look like a victim. And obviously, in this situation, he did bruise her. But even in this, she doesn't say that she didn't consent or that it was something that she was uncomfortable with, just that it happened. What did Turkey do? Supposedly, the allegations are this. Turkey Tom likes rough sex. He likes petite women. But none of these allegations prove anything illegal. He has consistently not consistently, there has been not one piece of evidence that implies a lack of consent or a lack of willingness in the participants of these actions. This has almost entirely been a nothing burger of ex-girlfriends wanting to get revenge on him because of a bad breakup. That is all I can boil this down to at this time. There's one mention of unconsensual filming of sex, but no other mention or evidence providing that this could be a true thing other than just an allegation. So at this point, there really is nothing that can be proven that was done wrong in here. This is a bit of a nothing burger, and I wouldn't take very much of this as very damning evidence. Incel Core adjacent news. Person who introduced me to the scene Turkey Tom got allegations thrown on him by his ex on Kiwi Farms. Here's a summary, but I'll throw a message link for anyone curious enough down below. Registrations are paused due to the OPSEC reason, though. So here's a little mega thread about it. Sit down and listen. BPD Tinder GF is speaking, or don't and read the summary instead. Tom's serial Gooner monogamy adventure summary. The resulting fallout has resulted in Nicholas Oreo not having read the allegations in detail, announcing that the Half-Baked podcast, a podcast which includes Turkey Tom as co-host, will be on a short hiatus. Initial allegation: ex-girlfriend, Sacramento 89, alleges that she was in a relationship with Turkey Tom after meeting on Tinder. This thread is the top thing that pops up when he searches for something on Google, interacted, and flying out countless followed e-girls to cheat with, kicked holes in his rental house because an e-girl Belle Delphine lookalike got hacked and blackmailing him with dick pics, collects voice memos as blackmail to ensure women don't speak out against him, Epstein Maxing pulls out his phone mid-sex to non-consensually record the encounter, Null confirms Sacramento's identity. She claims to have dated Turkey Tom for 7 months and met his family. Marriage was in the picture until she confronted Turkey Tom about cheating. Following allegations, Sacramento 89 clarifies further. Blackmail consists of voice memos from an ex named Kai. Broke up with him because he kept talking to Belle Delphine lookalike Creepy Hoarder. Tom lied about being a YouTuber and told her not to look him up, describes an ex who was bruised on her face after meeting with him, IG Archive. Turkey Tom compliments his dates by saying they look 15. Turkey Tom's goon brain can't handle real women after quitting porn, so he has to resort to filming/watching women to ejaculate. The Belle Delphine lookalike Turkey Tom sent his dick pic to is an e-girl who dresses up underage and loves lolicon. Turkey Tom has a habit of hitting or choking during sex. I'm not alleging anything illegal, just that he would hit and choke because he was super gooner. Turkey Tom never got over Kai cheating on him with lyrics. So that's a general breakdown of the allegations. Obviously, there's a lot more context that I think people should look into when they are trying to figure out whether or not this is all true. But for the time being, I think until there's more evidence and more information given out, there's really not much here that can be subjected to much scrutiny further than just saying he's a gooner, he's a serial gooner, and he fucks weird. And that's just about my only take at the end of this. So I think at this point I'm gonna end the stream for now. I might go live again in a little bit to do some gaming, but I think I'm gonna make this a fully separate VOD, and later on tonight I'm probably going to edit this down a little bit and cut out some of the fluff and put it up as a video. So look out for that if you're interested in catching up on this entire situation, if you joined halfway through. But for the time being, I've been Big Thoy, and I hope you enjoyed. I will catch you later. Have fun, man. I hope you stick around.